Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to demystify a massive financial phenomenon, Dave Ramsey's total money makeover. But hey, we're not just going to sit here and talk theory. Nope. We're actually going to apply these rules to a real 12-year case study to see how they hold up in everyday life. If you've ever felt totally overwhelmed by your finances, or, if you're just looking for a clear-cut path to true wealth, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's dive in. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the debt trap, the 7 baby steps, budgeting like a pro, real life, real results, and finally, building long-term wealth. Section 1, the debt trap. We really have to start by addressing the universal burden of debt. It's that brutal trap that keeps so many hardworking people stuck in an exhausting, endless paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, constantly feeling like they can never, ever quite get ahead. Now consider this staggering number for a moment, because it is absolutely massive. Over $100 billion of debt has been paid off globally by more than 10 million readers following this exact financial plan. Think about that. That is not just a statistic. That represents millions of shifted family trees and lifted financial burdens. But let's get real for a second. Hearing about massive global figures like $100 billion is great and all, but what does it actually take on an individual level to escape the trap and achieve that kind of financial freedom? How do everyday people actually pull this off? Section 2, the 7 baby steps. Well, the answer to escaping all that financial chaos lies in following a highly structured, sequential blueprint. It's a system famously known as the 7 baby steps. The exact step-by-step climb required to go from literally drowning in debt to becoming a self-made millionaire is basically drawn out as a staircase. You can't just jump to step 5 without firmly planting your feet on steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 first. It's all about hyper-focusing on one specific goal at a time. What's really fascinating about building this foundation is the strict sequence. You've got to first build a $1,000 safety net, a starter emergency fund to keep you from swiping credit cards when that inevitable flat tire or broken fridge happens, right? Then you aggressively use what's called the Debt Snowball method to clear all non-mortgage debt, paying off the smallest balances first to build some serious psychological momentum. Once the debt is gone, you move to step 3, expanding that $1,000 into a fully funded emergency savings account that covers 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Once that secure foundation is laid down, you transition from defense to offense. Welcome to the wealth building phase. You start by investing exactly 15% of your household income right into retirement. Got kids? Step 5 is saving for their college. Step 6 is attacking the biggest debt of all, your house payment. And finally, step 7, the absolute pinnacle of the staircase, building lasting wealth and being outrageously generous. Section 3, budgeting like a pro. Of course, to actually climb those stairs successfully, you need absolute control over your income. You can't just cross your fingers and hope you have money left over at the end of the month. You need a dedicated, airtight plan. This means using a strict month-to-month strategy. Using a highly detailed monthly cash flow plan, you track practically every imaginable expense category. And I mean granular detail here. It's not just big buckets like housing and food. It breaks down into utilities, medical, personal insurance, and right down to physical cash envelopes for things like groceries and pocket money. It totally prevents you from forgetting those sneaky little expenses that always seem to derail a loose budget. So the absolute crucial point here is creating what's called a zero-based budget. You take your monthly take-home pay, subtract all those categorized expenses, and your goal is to hit exactly 0. Now wait, this doesn't mean you have $0 in your bank account. It means you intentionally assign every single dollar a job, whether that job is paying for electricity, funding your debt payoff, or going straight into savings before the month even begins. Section 4, real life, real results. Okay, theory and forms are great, but let's see how this actually plays out in the trenches with financial writer Amanda Grossman, who embraced this exact process 12 years ago with her then-fiancé, Paul. So 12 years ago, when they combined their finances, Amanda and Paul were juggling $25,000 in combined debt. We're talking student loans, a $12,000 car loan, and a $3,000 engagement ring. But today, by strictly following this plan, they are 100% debt-free. They have 0 mortgage, 0 consumer debt, and they are saving money like crazy. However, Amanda does offer a vital reality check here. While the Total Money Makeover preaches a $1,000 starter emergency fund for baby step 1, Amanda actually recommends saving a bit more than that. Why?
Well, because Murphy's Law struck hard when her car completely died immediately after they bought their first house. If they had strictly held to only $1,000 in savings, buying a new car would have sent them spiraling right back into high-interest debt.
Overcoming those crazy emergencies without borrowing more money requires what the plan calls gazelle intensity. Seriously, it means running from debt the exact same way a gazelle runs from a cheetah. Amanda and Paul lived this. They made intense temporary sacrifices, selling off extra TVs, books, and laptops. Amanda even picked up freelance writing work, and they carpooled or used just one car for 2.5 years just to free up cash to throw at their debt snowball. Section 5. Building long-term wealth. You see, those early, intense sacrifices, working the extra jobs, selling the TVs, are exactly what buy you the freedom to reach the back half of the plan, the wealth-building phase. Once the debt is finally gone and the emergency fund is totally full, you unlock a completely different kind of financial power. Baby step 4 is isolated on a very specific rule, and it is the absolute anchor of your retirement strategy, investing exactly 15% of your gross pre-tax household income. Not 5%, not just whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month, a highly intentional 15%. This specific number leaves just enough of your income free to tackle paying off the house and saving for the kids' college at the same time. Now, where does that 15% actually go? You definitely don't just dump it all into a single trending stock. You should divide that 15% evenly across 4 types of mutual funds: growth, growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. This specific mix properly balances your risk while aiming for a really steady, reliable return over the long haul. And guys, when you do that consistently, the math is truly shocking. Let's just say you make a modest $50,000 a year. If you simply invest that 15%, starting at age 30, and you do it consistently until age 67, you could retire with over $5 million. And that's assuming you never even get a raise or a single promotion in your entire career. That is the incredible power of compound interest and consistency. It all comes back to this core philosophy. If you live like no one else, later you can live like no one else. As Amanda's journey so beautifully illustrates, paying cash for an 11-day Austrian honeymoon, saving up an entire year's worth of expenses, and having the financial freedom to literally quit a day job to write full-time, those are the ultimate rewards. They earned that incredible peace of mind because they were willing to budget fiercely and live like no one else during those really tough early steps. So I want to end this explainer by having you take a really hard look at your own finances right now. Think about those 7 steps we just walked through. Are you currently stuck in the debt trap, or are you finally ready to deploy that gazelle intensity? Look at the stairs ahead of you right now. What is your very next move?